Welcome to another episode of the Tree of Geek, Season 2, Episode 11, The Fallout Guys. That's right, we're here tonight to talk about Fallout, the TV series, as well as the video games that it's based on. I am here tonight with H-Train.
A jugga.
And our returning fan and co-host? I don't know, is he becoming a co-host? Jonathan. And again, can I call you Johnny?
Sure, why not?
I'm going to call you whatever the hell I want.
Go for it. Wherever floats your boat.
Whatever makes my pantyhose go up and down.
Sure, whatever.
Twists my knickers.
Yep.
So in this episode, we're going to be diving in to Fallout the series, looking at the characters, the episodes, the world building, and of course the source material. But first, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host H-Train, and I want to hear what is new in your world.
What is new in my world, or just like in general? Or are we talking like the geeky stuff like we normally do?
Normally it's the geeky stuff, but I realize we kind of live in the geeky world, so...
Yeah, we do. Okay, so I see what you're saying here. Well, I got a list as normal. Gotta love them lists. We don't talk about wrestling very often here.
And there's a reason. All right, moving on. John.
Wow. Well, we just alienated half our people. Well, for all those geeks out there, those nerds, those athletic dudes that are neither or all three, if you keep up on wrestling, you know the World Wrestling Federation has finally kicked Roman Reigns to the curb. He's no longer the champion. Cody Rhodes finished his story. He is now the world champion. It's about time. I think Roman Reigns was champion for like 22 years or something. It was ridiculous. So, I mean, I don't really watch WWE or WrestleManias, but I was intrigued to see if it was finally going to happen, and it did. It was nice to see Undertaker show up, and John Cena showed up, and everybody showed up. So, congratulations, Cody Rhodes. You finally finished it. And here's to Chapter 2. Discovery, Star Trek, final season, couple episodes in. It is killing. Well, at least it is to me. I think it's firing on all warp cores. It's doing exactly what it needs to do. There's more humanity. I feel more energy, more excitement in this one. The last episode, the whole time travel shenanigans was great. There's Superman casting. I don't remember everybody's name. I don't remember them specifically. I know that they've been in different shows I've seen. But there's some stuff on our social accounts that I posted on there. It's on X/Twitter. Because I can't get it off the Twitter. Nobody wants to give that up.
It's just, it rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, like, hey, did you check out what was on X today? My grandma would be like, what is X? But no, you're not doing whatever that is. No, what is X? Are you on ecstasy right now? No, I'm not. But anyway, I update these things when I see them occasionally if I think it's important. And I threw them up on there. So we have our Kents. The parents are on there to fill things in. And finally, for me, I couldn't avoid it. I wanted to avoid it to death, but Deadpool, the new trailer dropped, and it was shoved in front of my eyeballs everywhere I turned. I could have just hidden in the basement for weeks, but I do got to go to work, and unfortunately, the phone is attached to my hand. I think it grew into my carpal tunnel. I don't know, but it's there. And yeah, so that's out. Cameos galore. I don't need to explain to anybody that's listening. They probably already know. As soon as they flip through one panel on their social media, you have another Deadpool spoiler. So
even though you were avoiding it, from what you saw, are you still looking forward to it?
Oh, I'm going to theaters to see it. We're all doing it, right? And I think that's our plan. We're all getting the couples together, all the wives and everything. Maybe kids. I don't know if they sneeze or cough like John's kids do. They might not make it out of the theater, but we'll go. You know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to grab you that hard. John, what's new in your world?
Well, let's see here. Besides me playing my video games, I've emerged to watch X-Men 97, 2 episodes in.
2 episodes deep, so you're not farther down the road yet. Brace yourselves, you and your family. If there are the people watching with you, or is it just
No, it's just me.
Well, I'm telling you right now, have a box of tissues ready mid-season.
Episode 5 gets real quick.
Real rough.
Yeah.
Real rough. So how do you feel it's comparing to the original? Do you think it's a good continuation or not?
So far, yeah. Like some of the costume designs, I was kind of like I wasn't a big fan of like Storm's haircut, but I'm like, in the comics, I mean, all right, it works. So
what, the mohawk?
Yeah.
I thought the mohawk was sick personally, but
I mean, prior to it, she had like more fuller hair. Now it's just like you see her walk out. It's like,
I feel it's definitely truer to the comics that have been releasing lately.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. The next thing I've been going into, started playing the Fallout games again.
Which one?
Right now, Fallout 4, because it's my favorite among all of them. So.
And you've played them all?
Yep.
I mean, we'll get into that later, but all right. What about you, Josh? Anything new spring up for you in the realm of Geek Kingdom? Or
Well, pretty close to the same as John in the fact that I'm fully caught up on the new X-Men 97 series. I will say, I think it's a fantastic series. They're doing an amazing job making it feel like an original 90s cartoon.
Okay, bub.
And so at work, we use Slack for, conversations and stuff like that. It's a chat program. And we made a private channel called Geeks that you can't find unless you're looking for it. And Eric, the creator of Steel Wolf.
Do you have stock in his comic book company?
I should.
No, I'm just kidding, man. We like to throw out people's names that are cool and awesome.
He said that when they finish that episode coming up, that we're not going to reveal anything because John's not there yet. He said it was just silence in the whole room. Nobody spoke, nobody moved. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also did tell me they have 9 pages of their collective comic together. What was it?
I don't remember.
World's Wonders, I think it was. But he told me to let you know from the last episode that they actually do have a whole separate Justice League style group put together. They just haven't done it in the comic yet. So this is just like a tiny little get together collab.
So this is not their JLA. Okay.
No. He messaged me the other day at work and he was like, hey, just a side note for your co-host.
Well, I'm glad first off that you listened. And secondly, that you gave feedback about the stuff I said. That's amazing.
He said that he put us on his rotation. So whenever it drops, a certain day or whatever later, he listens to it while he's working. And I'm like, honestly, I couldn't ask for more. That's awesome. Thank you. So Eric, if you're listening, thank you. So I also went just today and checked out a new local comic book store that just opened nearby.
Over the mountain.
Through
the woods. Hey, now. Whoa. He's already stealing my lines over here. Next thing you know, he's going to steal he already stole my seat.
Over the mountain, my mic next? I'll trade through the woods into the comic book store we go. And looking around, I found this, I found that, a few things to fill in little holes here and there in my collection. But then I found the very first appearance of Groot.
I am Groot.
Not going to talk about, how much I spent or what it's worth or anything like that. I will say.
It says on the cover 15 cents.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, I feel I got a great deal.
30 cents.
Yeah, doubled. But no, really, that is, to me, that's a gem to put in my collection. That's one that I honestly never even came on my radar. No.
Yeah.
And
hey, let's go find the first episode or the first appearance of Groot. That wouldn't have been on my bucket list.
But I got to talk to the guy, the owner. He was there. And he seems very, very down to earth, very chill. He wants this comic book store to be directed more towards readers than just straight up collectors. He has some, graded comics and stuff. Actually, a bunch of them on the walls for what you would expect them to cost. But then he has a whole room full of $5 and $10 ones, $1 ones, $2.
What's the name of this burg?
It's called the Comic Cove with one C in the middle, not Comic Cove, just Comic Cove, because I guess the other one was already copyrighted. But whatever. Great prices, great guy. I'm going to talk to him and see if maybe we could hang a flyer or business card or something up somewhere. And, simple deal. Hey, we'll promote your business if you promote our podcast.
Well, I'm going to be going there this Saturday.
You should. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely scarce, the walls and stuff still. But, he just opened a couple weeks ago. But, yeah. And he also said if you do subscriptions through him, like I do through Marvel, I get my... I don't know.
You said you're getting X-Men.
Thank you. Yeah, X-Men. I get those every time they release. You can do them through him, and if you do enough, you'll get a small discount on them. And I said, if it brings him business, if he makes something off of me doing that, I'll happily do that. Support small business, Yeah.
Little symbiosis there, support each other a little bit.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been weirdly watching a lot of movies lately, but none of them are really geeky.
Keep messaging me, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this one?
Yeah. For some reason, I got on a Jason Statham kick, and I watched The Transporter. Then I found it's called Homefront with Jason Statham, and it has your favorite actor in it as one of the bad guys.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Take 1 minute.
What?
No. I'm being sarcastic. Heavily sarcastic on the favorite part. I'll give you 1 second.
Yeah, you messaged me about this, and I can't remember what the hell you said.
I didn't tell you who it was.
I thought you did. Oh, well, it's not the jacket guy because he's not in anything. Nah, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss.
I'll give you a hint. Green Goblin.
Oh yeah, it's the Franco dude. That's right, it's Franco. Yeah.
James Franco.
I don't hate James Franco though. I mean, he's a piece of shit in real. Like he's a piece of shit person. He's a fucking piece of garbage. He's not He wasn't a horrible actor. It's just as a person, like he's a piece of dog turd.
Well, in this movie, he plays a meth dealer.
Well, that's up his fucking alley.
And yeah, a lot of stuff happens. A good movie though. Check it out. Homefront.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it a long time ago.
I mean, it's definitely your generic like ex-military destroys everybody type movie, but it's good. It is good.
Okay. I'm in one of those moods. I'm going to let you know now. I probably might talk a little bit too much, so I'll try my best to.
So this is part 1 of 7. But that's really all I've got as far as what's new in my world. Unfortunately, and I did read the new Fall of House of X comic that came out, and that storyline's getting real quick.
And I'd like to thank you for not spoiling that for me or for anybody else, because I don't know what issue you're on. But when we're talking about spoiling things, we might as well give the neighborhood warning that coming to a podcast near you, including this one you're listening to right now, there will be spoilers. So thanks for not spoiling that for me, because I don't know what issue you're on. But just so everybody knows, this episode is going to contain spoilers. Spoilers to the left, spoilers to the right. Put your leg in, take your leg out. Boom. There's going to be a spoiler. Spoiler about all the games of Fallout, all the TV show episodes of Fallout, any other pieces of information that we've got from the creators of Fallout. I'm only saying that because we had to cut out, because apparently I did this whole entire spiel doing Halo.
Yeah.
Not Fallout. So,
now,
they're video games, they're TV shows.
That being said, we will follow the same structure like we did for Halo, in the sense of if it's a major spoiler or something that you just need to experience yourself watching it, we're not going to give it away. But little things that we don't really feel like it's that big of a deal if you hear about.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you what exactly happens in every single episode or the finale. That's not going to happen. But we do need to give you a little bit of a character description about somebody so that you do know who the hell we're talking about. Like, oh, it was that person. Okay, we got you.
So to get started, first off, what is Fallout? Well, I have here, fresh from the Wikipedia.
The only source of information.
Well, I mean, it can't be wrong.
Never.
The Fallout series is a post-apocalyptic video game franchise set in a retro-futuristic world
2077
that diverged from our own timeline after World War II. The game takes place in a bleak, desolate wasteland following a devastating nuclear war between the United States and China. Players navigate this world as survivors emerging from underground shelters known as vaults, encountering mutated creatures, factions fighting for control, and the remnants of society struggling to rebuild. The series is known for its dark humor, moral dilemmas, and open-world exploration, offering players the freedom to make their own story through choices and consequences. So that is what Fallout, the video game, was based around. I will say, being Bethesda, if you do even the littlest bit of research, you're going to go down one deep rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. The lore is so ridiculously expansive. Like, you could spend hours just reading about one of the old vaults. It's amazing. But on that note, let's just get right into it. As you probably already figured, I looked it up. The TV show is currently rated an 8.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's pretty good.
Michael, how tall are the actors?
Which one?
Yeah, you really have them?
No.
Oh.
I think Ella Purnell's like 5'7" or 5'6" though. So
she's that short.
Yeah, I don't think she's super tall. I'm guessing though. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna get canceled now because she's 5'8". She's a great actress. That's all I know.
He hates women because he thinks they're all short.
No, they're not all short.
So let's jump over to our guest real quick to start things off. John, what kind of experience do you have with the Fallout universe?
It's a love-hate relationship with this game. I love the gameplay, but there are some times like when you're playing through the game, you're like, what the hell just happened? But other than that, I mean, like, I love the idea that you can actually make your own character. And like you said, like every action you do has a consequence. So you decide to go with the Raiders path, and you're going to have to piss off a lot of people. You just got to go with the good guy path. I mean, just standard story, but I just love the idea of how they leave it to be either good, neutral, or bad.
That reminds you of like that old game Fable. Is anything like that as far as your consequences?
Basically, yeah.
Yes and no.
Do people like react to and go, oh, we like, do the PC characters know you're a bad guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it'll actually come up on your screen. Like if you do something, it'll be like, nobody liked that.
Okay.
It's like, oh, well, I just made a bad choice.
Now, and the reason I ask this is because to kind of take over John just here real quick, my experience with the game is zero, nilch. I've never played the video games. So I came into this TV show fresh. I had no experience. I knew there was games. I had seen the covers of the games, but I had really no idea what it was all about. I was always saw the dude with the thumbs up type thing and was like, oh, that just looks weird. First person type stuff. I don't know. You know me, I'm not a big video game player. So what about you, Josh? Do you have any, did you play the games? Do you have any experience before the show?
So I very vaguely remember playing a tiny bit of Fallout 3, and I think it was like at a friend's house. I didn't really know what it was, didn't really care. I do own, and I played most of Fallout New Vegas, which that will come up again later, because I'm pretty sure Season 2 might be heading that way. And Fallout 4, I'm going to be honest, when it came out, I thought I played it, but I'm pretty sure I just watched a bunch of Twitch streams, because I knew the beginning really well, but I don't own it in Steam. I don't own it on any console. So now I do. I bought it on Steam. I think it was like on sale $40 for the full DLC and everything. And I started playing it again as of yesterday.
What do you play yours on, John?
PlayStation and Xbox, mostly PlayStation.
Like the one that you said you started replaying again.
Yeah.
Is that on PlayStation or Xbox?
Yep.
It's not multiplayer. That's Fallout 76.
Well, crap ton of games aren't multiplayer anymore. So
crap ton are.
Yeah.
No, I mean, okay, well, back in the day, Super Mario, games like that, multiplayer, like you could sit there and trade back and forth, like, okay, now it's your turn, now it's my turn, or you could like cooperative. I feel like everything now is just online. Like that's what multiplayer is now.
Yeah.
Like me and Emily and I, using proper grammar here, let's act like we're professionals.
Guns.
Emily and I searched last year for like an hour or 2 hours, I swear, just looking for games on the PlayStation Store that were 2-player. They weren't just puzzle solvers, and we had one hell of a time.
Oh, yeah.
So we just played GTA, and we just hand the controller back and forth. When where you got killed, now it's your turn.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not that many games like that anymore. Or even if it is, it still requires like an online connection for some reason to play.
Yeah, you're forced to do it.
Yeah, I greatly dislike that. I like download it, it's mine, I'm going to play it. Or put the disc in, whatever.
I love the fact that when I play a game and then I'm like, because I don't play much, so I come back like a week later and I have to wait an hour for a download or something. It's like, geez, man, I just didn't play it for a month. I'm sorry.
So I started playing Fallout 4 again yesterday. Well, I say again, for the first time. I mean, I watched videos. And then today, apparently there's a 14 gigabyte update.
Yeah.
For some big DLC they just released, or not DLC, just an update. And everything I'm reading online says that it breaks like anybody who modded their game. It breaks it, and it doesn't really add a lot.
No, you're just weeding out the people, I guess.
Well, no, so this is the cool thing about it. Apparently Bethesda actually encourages modding, and if they like your mod enough, they'll actually buy it to put it on their store.
Well, look at me being wrong.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah,
Oh!
the only reason why they had that update is because as soon as you try to start the game, it crashes it at the very beginning.
Mine didn't.
Oh, it did for me. I got super pissed off with that.
So, Michael, do you want to lead us into introducing some of the characters?
I mean, like, who's who up in this piece?
Well, absolutely.
All right, well, there's a lot of characters, but I'm going to just go through a couple here.
Just give us the main cast.
Main cast, that's all I'm going for. Lucy McLean, played by Ella Purnell. You might know her from Yellow Jackets. She's a vault dweller. Then there's her father, Kyle MacLachlan, plays Hank McLean. I'm pretty sure he was in Twin Peaks. That's where he's famous from.
Dude, that guy's in a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. A lot of horror movies. Aaron Moten plays Maximus, a squire of the Brotherhood of Steel. Moises Aries, I think is how you say it, from the Disney Channel way back in the day, plays Norm McLean. He's the brother of Ella's character, Lucy. There's a bunch of residents in the vault. I'm not going to go through everybody. I'm sure we're going to bring them up as we go. But then you also have Walton Goggins.
Holy crap, he got the name
I got
right.
the name right. Man, I love this guy. But that's not what we're here to talk about at this second. He plays a very prominent role. He's like a bounty hunter guy.
Cooper Howard.
Cooper Howard. Yeah. You learn that he plays this cool guy, but he's also Cooper Howard. So he's a major, major piece of this. And then you have like some people like Moldiver, and there's this lady who's trying to restart everything. And there's a lot of little pieces. So many characters in the show, like so many characters.
But you forgot the most important one. Matt Berry.
Matt Berry?
Playing the voice of the robot, Cogsworth.
Yeah, he's not in there much though.
I don't care. I love that man. He's
now
from
you
the
watch,
IT crowd. He's Douglas. He's was it Laszlo?
From
I was about to say, is he in the Shadows show? Because I'm
He's
watching with Emily,
Laszlo.
and I was like, because we tried to watch the What We Do in the Shadows, and I was like, I think that dude's in that vampire show John watches.
Yeah, he's in What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay,
He's
that's what I thought.
hilarious.
love that show.
That guy he's amazing. He plays Snip Snip, Mr. Handy, Sebastian something. I forgot his last name already.
I'm sure it's here on a giant list of things I have. I'm not reading all these. I absolutely refuse. Yeah, so that's pretty much the main cast. They're the people that are in almost every episode. They're the ones that you follow their journeys from either down in the ground or from the barracks or from the grave. I guess two of people come from the ground, right? Two different sets of people, type people. Yeah.
And I think you meet them all in episode 1.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions of episode 1? Because I mean, I went into this very cautiously, not really sure what I was getting into. But I felt it was an incredibly strong start to a series. Like I thought it was very cleanly put together. It gave us a good understanding of what was going on, what kind of stakes there were, but it also left it wide open of like what kind of story is about to be told here.
I kind of covered this in another question of the breakdown that I sent you guys for the thing. To me, it was the world building is the good sense I got from episode 1. I know that it's played pretty true to the game's aesthetic, and even the creator commented on that, the game creator. He said it feels like Fallout, but then you have a guy like me and a lot of others who never played the games, and it still was engaging and entertaining. It made me want to know what was going to happen in episode 2. It made me give a shit about these characters right off the bat. And I guess I was going to cover this later too, but the colorization, the filming, the shots that they took of this, when you get to see all outside the vault, then you get to see the ocean and some of the set pieces, though look simple from afar, they're put together pretty damn well. I'm a guy that I want to be in a TV show that looks lived in. I want it to feel real, not like I'm on a set, and I think they did that. And what about you, John? How did you feel after episode 1? What did it do for you?
I walked into this really cautiously because, all right, it's live action. How are they going to screw it up? Because I always go into it with a negative attitude. Because, I mean, look at Avatar.
You are a negative Nancy, that is for sure.
But I walked, and as soon as I started watching, I was like, okay, this is starting off good. And then at the very beginning, you're like, oh shit, this is just as gory as the game. Okay. So, and then just watching the character building was actually really cool because it's like they show 3 different stories, patch them together all at once. And it's really cool to see how each person is developing like throughout the whole series.
Would it be fair to say you were delighted and surprised that they did well?
I would say that, yes, that would be a fair assessment.
So I was just reading online. Apparently people are saying Fallout is how Halo should have been. Saying that in comparison, Halo is lacking horribly. Personally, I don't agree. I think they're both
2 different animals.
They're both great in their own rights. One's more of a war style show.
This is like dog versus cat here.
Right.
Apples, oranges.
Yeah.
But as far as a game to television transition, I mean, we've had we did a whole episode when Pixels Met Popcorn. Go back and listen to it.
We did.
Games that have moved their way to the big screen. I got to say, I think this one might be my favorite of the recent, the last couple of years. Last of Us, Halo. I really, really like this one.
Agreed.
I couldn't, and I won't say right now, but maybe by the end of the episode, I'll think about it. I'll let it gestate a bit. I will say this about this one compared to the other 2. I think then this one is more fun. This one is less dramatic, less makes you want to cry.
It didn't take itself as seriously. Like it had fun. You could tell they had fun with it.
There's a silliness to it, but yet there's also some gory seriousness to it as well.
Oh yeah.
Okie dokie then.
Right?
Cuts on a chainsaw.
So I went over what the games were about. John, do you want to give us an overview? Like, what's the synopsis of the actual TV show? In every game, there's some reason the main protagonist has to leave the vault. Give us a real quick rundown. What is the show actually about?
So, story starts off as this girl is getting married to another person in a connecting vault, which is okay. Instead, it turns out to be a whole raider charge in. They're trying to kill all these people. Girl's dad gets taken. She decides to, with no military training, decides to walk out of this protected vault and try to find her dad.
You're wrong. She had close combat training. They showed her doing Aikido, I do believe, at some point.
I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the montage.
In the little montage when they're like, oh, and this is my brother. He won't join us.
Yeah, she like flips some dude over with like a judo throw or something.
Okay, I don't remember seeing
Doing like
that,
some
but all right.
jujitsu.
All right, minimal training, very minimal, and decides to walk out and say, "Okay, I've got this." I'm like, okay. Decides to go across this vast desert, meeting all these
The Wasteland,
Yeah.
it's called.
desert wasteland.
I'm sorry,
dickhead
did you
people.
even play the games?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you watch the show?
I play the games. Everyone's a dick out in the wasteland. But anyway, ends up trying to find her dad. Starts meeting all the other people that are interconnecting, like the Ghoul, Maximus.
Thaddeus, he's in this episode. She
Yeah.
doesn't meet him.
Just so you see like these interconnecting stories, and then ends up finding out. And like,
yeah.
I don't want to ruin it because I'm like, I can keep going on, but I'm like, I don't want to do any spoilers. People haven't watched it yet. So, but girl goes to save her dad and just has a hell of a time.
Would you say that Lucy goes to save her dad in a story set in the future after a nuclear war?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so nuclear war happens. People live underground. Pretty much the same synopsis that Josh gave about the games. Have that what you will.
Okay, so that was a very interesting synopsis. Thank you. Just riding you a little bit, buddy. Who was your favorite character in the show, and why?
My favorite character is going to be Walton Goggins, aka Cooper Howard. I love this character because the minute you see him, it's like all right, so like my father, he always used to love like cowboys and everything. So as soon as I see him doing this, I'm like, all right, he blows off 2 people's heads right from the get-go, and he's just this badass bounty hunter. So I'm like, okay, I can get into a story. But the more you learn about him, the more you fall in love with his character, because you see this dad who is trying to like really work with his family, and then everything is just turned shit sideways. And it's just like, it's nice to see like this character arc go from like this really hardcore like killer, like starting to like see like a why he is how he is. So I just love that character arc.
Right on. What about you, Josh? Who's your favorite character?
Norm McLean,
Norm McLean?
the little brother. And I say he might be older, but he was really short compared to her.
Yeah.
He's that classic untrusting character that like thinks very skeptical of everybody, but then he's also like ridiculously smart, and he's a hacker for some reason. And I don't know, I really liked his character because he wasn't letting the wool get pulled over his eyes. He's like, no, like these raiders came in and killed us. Why are we feeding them and being nice? We can't reform them. Let's just get rid of them. And then he finds out a heck of a lot of stuff, later that I found to be absurdly interesting. And his fate is left unknown at the end of the season.
Dun, dun.
And I'm really curious to see where that goes.
Oh, yeah.
But who do you got?
Well, I'm going to have to second my man Johnny over here. I'm going to definitely go with the Ghoul / Cooper Howard, Walton Goggins. He brings so much life and energy into this role, and he gives such a wide array of emotions to this character. The contrast that we see between his old life and his new life is just crazy wild. But the small puzzle pieces that they give us to lead us through that transition is what I really liked. Just like it wasn't just about him every single episode. They give you a little bit of piece in this one, a little bit of piece in that one. Well, why is he here? Well, you wait till episode 6 and you'll find out. It's just little breadcrumbs to lead you. At first you think, oh, he's just going to be a good guy hero. Like, oh no, this he's an asshole. Well, no, he's not. There's a lot of complexity, and that to me makes good storytelling.
Yeah, he would, in my opinion, be like chaotic neutral.
Yes.
He does whatever it takes to get what he needs. He doesn't care. We'll kill you. He'll leave you. He doesn't care as long as he gets what he's looking for.
Right. The makeup. I love the makeup they did. I've seen the behind the scenes, them putting the makeup together. I thought it was done really, really awesomely well.
Did it say how long it took?
It probably did. I don't remember.
Okay.
I was trying not to do any stats anymore to remember any numbers. I am curious to see how he went from being a spy to doing birthday parties to being the Ghoul, though. So that is curious. But no, definitely my favorite character.
What I loved about Walter Goggins is there. If you're looking at some of the backstory, like off screen, he fell asleep in his costume one time, forgot he had it on, walked to the bathroom, realized that it was on, and about to shit himself. He's talking about. I didn't know that. If you like, there's like interviews where he's just like, I needed a new pair of pants because I shit myself. It's like, oh my God.
You said Norm is definitely one of my favorite characters as well. It's not my favorite of everybody, but he's in like top 5. I think he is kind of an unsung hero as far as like
5 of the 6 main characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, there's a lot of characters in this show, though. I mean, not like Game of Thrones, a lot of characters, but I think he's definitely like an unsung hero.
Yeah.
Like at first, I thought he was just going to be like a kind of a side character, just kind of background. But what's interesting about this show is they're not just one main character. It's not just about Maximus. It's not just about Lucy. It's not about her father. It's not about the ghoul. It's not about Norm. It's about all these people. They all get kind of equal shared time for the most part. I have a little gripe that we'll get to towards the end, but most of like, it's not just a Lucy show. It's not just a ghoul show. Now they do take a lot of precedence. They have a lot of, extra weight added to them, but it's not just about them. And
it feels like they balanced everybody's backstory fairly well.
Yes. There are some shows that will focus on 3 people, 2 people, and then everybody else is just a side character.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that here.
No, you definitely learn a little bit about almost every main character's backstory in some way. Even what was it, Moldiver, thank you. Like you learn it's a tiny bit about her, but you do learn about her.
Perinaski.
And I like that. No.
We're not doing this again.
We're not doing the Galactic Karen again.
She's not in the show? Didn't she see in episode 3? What if you shit if she would have played Moldiver? like she's back again.
No.
Oh, and just to throw out there to the fans, who actually listen to us, I couldn't think of where Perinaski, she even spelled weird online. But anyway, where she, like her actors were the other sci-fi show, it's The Expanse. That's the other show she's on. I couldn't think of it. She's on The Expanse. I went on The Expanse fans mad at me because I couldn't remember the show. I can remember that Tom Jane was in it, but I couldn't remember the name of the show. So I apologize to all the Expanse fans out there.
I feel like Tom Jane would wear a leather jacket.
Oh, he'd be a great leather jacket. You guys ever watch the show Hung where he's like a gigolo?
No.
Oh, dude, hilarious. Great show on HBO back in the day. Oh, it was a funny show. It's going to be a
no for me.
Hey, listen, I've seen the Hotel Satan cartoon that you guys all watch. You can definitely watch Hung in your show. In your living room, okay?
Hotel has been. My kid found that. I'm like, what the hell? Are you kidding me?
So Emily and I go over there, and this cartoon's on. And Emily's like, because she don't give a fuck what she's like. What are we watching? Like, what the fuck is this? We're here to hang out. What are we watching? And now I was like, oh, well, this is cartoon, that he found, and it seemed a little rough around the edges. And we're like, are you sure this is okay? She goes, oh no, John did the research. It's fine. And then as soon as they say that, like a minute or two later, somebody does cocaine off of another character's ass.
How?
Silas is just eating this up.
It said PG-13.
I hope you did more research for tonight's episode than you did for that show.
Yeah, but it said PG-13. I'm like, dude, in PG-13 when we were kids, like, it had nothing like that. So I'm like, okay.
I want you to. I don't think you looked at the rating. That cannot be PG-13.
It did. Look it up. Look it up.
I'm gonna have to
look it up.
I'm busy now doing a podcast.
So we have our favorite characters. Great. What about episodes? Did you have a favorite episode this season, or just the whole season in general?
To me, the episode 8, the final episode, the reason why I liked it was because of so many cliffhangers and just the action that it had in the end. I mean, some of the death scenes in it were actually pretty funny.
You mean like a finale?
Yeah, but I mean, the show itself overall was great. I loved it.
Now, I'm going to second your opinion there. It was a big toss up for me. First episode or last episode. Now, the first episode, like I said, gave you that world building. It gave you, this is the richness that you're going to get from here. Here's the colorization. Here's everything. But that finale, and usually finales, they've done right, are my favorite episodes of a season here because it just wraps up all those threads, but then rips apart other ones and has you, as this one did, has my mouth watering for the next. Like, I want season 2 of this. Like, I really do. Like,
it tied up a few areas. It made a few more threads, but all in all...
Yeah, it shuts one door, but kicks 5 more open.
Yes, I thought the finale was very well done.
I did as well. Yeah, I would say 60-40 finale to first episode. Now, the whole entire season's good. There's a lot of middle stuff that I enjoyed, but for my money, I maybe the finale is probably my favorite.
Okay.
What about you, Josh?
Not the finale and not the first episode.
Okay, going another direction.
It's actually right in the middle. Episode 4, The Ghouls.
The Ghouls.
So I picked this one because this is the episode where I feel you really see Lucy's character take a huge turning point.
Was this the grocery store episode?
Yes.
Okay.
She went from this soft, naive completely oblivious to the world character. And you watched as she slowly got more hardened and skeptical as she realized, like, people out here are just not good people.
Garbage.
She's walking around with, like, no shoe. Yeah, like one shoe. Like, you can't stop and let her get another shoe?
Yeah.
Come on, guy.
But, I mean, I don't know. I just felt like as far as her character goes, it showed a substantial character growth in that episode. You literally got to see her as realization of what was happening set in. And then you got to see her stop asking people to do something. And she turned into a wastelander for a minute.
You have to.
And I really liked it because from then on, she felt like a slightly different character.
The moment she throws the chems at him at the end, like, this is not the same Lucy.
She's like,
Lucy's different now.
Like, is this what you're looking for? And then walks away.
Yeah, I think that was a good intersection between the two characters.
Yeah.
As far as like the importance that they have to, it gave you the beginning of their Velcroing together a little bit.
Well, and it showed that she's not willing to sacrifice her morals. She's still a good person. She still wants to help people, but she's also realizing she's got to help herself.
Yeah, she was a little mouthy. It's kind of what I was leaning towards there. It's a little mouthy when she threw him at him.
Oh, yeah.
She was,
yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, she's still a good morally, good fibered character. She's just like, fuck you.
In the nicest way possible. She's like, here, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But I mean, without going into too much detail, there were some amazing scenes in that episode.
Yes.
It was a good solid middle episode for sure.
I don't know his name, but you get that one actor who's in like everything. He's always
in Res Dogs, man.
He's always a side character.
Free guy.
Always high.
He plays the same guy in Res Dogs. I swear, he survived Res Dogs to the future.
He plays the same in everything.
Yeah.
wait, and Free Guy, Mom,
coming in with a death blow.
I mean,
love him.
As soon as I saw him, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And then some things transpired, and he's not
just so nonchalant. He just has a gun pointed at him. He's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
She fucking shoots it. Oh.
But that kind of segues into our next point of topic that you've written out here, like the favorite aspect of the show. For me, it was absolutely, I mean, the world building was great, but for me, it was more the character growth. I loved watching these characters start as, one thing and end as another. From what I was reading and talking to a guy I work with who, I mean, he is very deep into Fallout Rich. He has played every game. He's read every word of every piece of lore. Apparently, a group of fans watched the show very carefully, each character, marked down everything they did, and figured out exactly how much XP they would have got from everything.
Like some NFL stats right here.
Well, apparently, by the end of the season, they all went from level 1 to level 9. That's the rough, I guess, estimate is they're about level 9 at the end of the season. And the original game said, 30 levels, something like that?
I mean, I imagine the ghoul probably leveled up a lot higher because, I mean, he had a lot of kills.
Okay, but kills aren't everything. Because in the game, you also level up. You get experience for charisma. You get experience for all types of stuff.
I don't know. I didn't play him.
But that's my favorite aspect of the show was just the character development. I mean, they even, like I said, they played it into the idea of leveling up, and it just showed them growing as characters, and I loved that.
What I just heard is... I'm sorry, John, what?
That is cool.
What I just heard was they're not just a TV show, but the games were so well done that it enamored people enough to go this balls to the walls, crazy, deep. Let's get the statistics. Let's get them all together here. People do that with NASCAR. People do that with the NFL, with basketball.
My boss in fantasy football, he knows every stat of every player on his team down to, how long his hair was last game.
Oh, yeah. Like if the Eagles played the Jets last season, but the temperature was 65 degrees and some people go that deep. And the fact that these people went this deep and had enough love. I know I said crazy, but no, it's amazing that people went this far into it. That's awesome.
Based on the barometric pressure, the ball would have been slightly softer.
Hey, well, you leave Tom Brady alone. I know where that was thrown. You leave my man alone. It's Tom Brady. He has a roast coming up on Netflix.
Oh,
that's going
to be dirty.
Flat.
He's like, ain't nobody can roast Tom Brady. I'm like, oh, dude, you're getting if the same guys are on there, you are screwed, Tom, because that shit is hilarious.
Did you just hear him?
No, I did not.
He said he bets it falls flat.
I don't follow the foosball, so I don't care.
But you know who Tom Brady is, don't you? Because he's the GOAT.
I know who he is because you won't shut up about him.
Go Wolverines.
All right, moving on. Michael, what is your favorite overall aspect of the show?
My favorite aspect of the show, probably the balance of gore, comedy, and action. It's just like the creator of the games, Tim Kaine, said that it would have been super easy for them to make this really silly, and they didn't. They could have taken themselves way too seriously. They didn't. I think, just when the comedy was about to get like too much, they pull it back. The action's not done ridiculous. It's not horrible choreography.
Well, and it wasn't like comedy that was like in your face stand up. It was just like little comments here and there that just like the okie dokie just made it so
It's a
good.
weird comedy. You said it's not stand up. It's a weird off the wall comedy. You go, what? It just makes you kind of grin a little bit and just kind of chuckle,
It's that dark comedy.
Yeah. And the show's it's like an adult show, but it's not like Game of Thrones adult. It's it's not a skin flick, but it is.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the birds and the bees here.
Oh, okay.
Now, the first episode you get to see Lucy, as you talked about, in the bride dress and like that. You're like, oh, okay, we're going to go here. But it does it so far. You know what I mean? There is other scenes in the show where you think, like, even I was like, man, are they going to go here? Are they going to do this? But they don't. They know where the edge is.
Right.
On the action, on the comedy, on the raciness, they know where it is and they don't really go over. And I appreciate that.
What was this show rated?
I don't know.
It had to be rated R.
It'd be TVMA, I would think. Because there is swearing in it. There's a lot of F-bombs.
And there's a lot,
there's a lot of killing.
Some nudity.
Yeah, but the nudity's not gratuitous. That's what I'm saying. It's an adult show, but it's not gratuitous.
And it was on Amazon, not regular television. So they can get away with different ratings because you have to pay for what you're viewing. You have to select to watch it.
And of course, Walton and Ella Purnell, like their range of emotions, I think was a very big thing for me. I've seen some shows that were beautifully shot. I've seen some shows that had a really great story, but I've had actors, lead characters that just like, you don't give a shit about them. Like they just don't resonate like the character that you expect from them. Where that was not the case here. Like they hit every single note they were supposed to hit, in my opinion.
TVMA.
Yeah, it sounds about. I mean, you got some boobies and some swearing up in there. Was there a male ass in here?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
The dude in the beginning.
Yeah, so he has a man ass in here too, and you got to represent. You got to represent everybody, and got to have some man ass in there too.
According to IMDb, yes, TVMA. The show is still rated 8.6 out of 10, and it's still showing that it is multiple weeks, I guess, in a row, still sitting at number 1 in popularity.
So it's got legs. That's good. It's got legs. She got legs.
What gets me, though, is because it shows top-rated episodes and stuff like that. The top-rated episode is the finale at a 9 out of 10. That is really good.
What about the grocery store episode, the middle one? Would you say 6?
That's the second highest at an 8.6 out of 10, episode 4.
Well, there's a good bit of shit that happened in that episode, which was nice. It was very action-oriented.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing, too, the pacing. A lot of times, people who think they're professional filmmakers like to complain about a pacing in a show or a movie, and they don't know two shits about making a show. And I don't either. But as many thousands of movies and TV shows I have watched, I will say the pacing in this one is good. Because to me, a good pace is you're not bored.
It didn't feel
you're
like
enthralled,
it was
but you're not
rushed.
bored. Yeah, and it's not rushed either.
Exactly. It felt like it had a nice, comfortable pace, not like something like you're like rushing to tell a story and then leaving shit out.
And how many episodes was this? How many episodes in the season, rather?
8.
8. Yeah, so like that seems to be today's run. I think we talked about this in another
We're out of the
episode.
22 episode seasons.
Yeah, like 8 to 10 is what you're getting. And I think they knew what their runway was and they knew how to land perfectly.
Oh, and I think they did. Like you can tell they storyboarded the crap out of this. Like, all right, here's episodes 1 through 8. Here's the story we want to tell. How do we make it fit people? And I think they nailed it.
Yeah, well, I'm having a feeling. Well, you said that the game creator had a lot of input in here. I'm sure that they had a lot of people that gave a shit about the source material. And that really, really helps when you have people help create things that care about where it came from. You don't have producers coming in every single day on the dailies going, oh, hell, no, we need to change this. We need more boobs, or we need more killing, or we need more drugs, or this is too much. Take it all back.
Henry Cavill with The Witcher. He cared about the project. That's why he put so much into it. And it was when they started pushing away from the source material that he said, hey, I'm out. And I sent you that link, didn't I? It officially has been canceled after the next season.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this was the same situation, but just the Henry Cavill part. They had a whole team of Henry Cavills who loved the game, loved the source material, hey, let's make something awesome.
Yeah. I have a feeling this is going to have a couple seasons. I'd be shocked if like they came out with a really crappy season 2.
Well, to my understanding, there's like a total of, I think, 122 vaults that are known about in the world, in the universe. So, I mean, they got a good ways they can go. I mean, they've only covered like maybe 20 total in all the games put together.
Well, what's nice about this show is it's not just about the vaults. Like, I know the games, it's different from what you guys have explained to me, but like the show, it's not, the vaults are a huge part with all the different factions, but it's not just vault stuff.
Well, like you said, like how are the games different from the show?
And that's something that I was going to ask you folks, like how is it different from the show?
Well, first off, in my experience, the games have significantly more combat than the show showed. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of fighting, but there was a lot more larger scale battles.
Is it a first-person shooter?
The show. It can be, or you can zoom out to third person. They barely scratch the surface when it comes to the variety of creatures in the world. Like, we didn't see any of the super mutants. We didn't see multiple factions. Like, there are so many species of creatures in the game that
fucking mole rats.
Haven't even seen yet.
Mole rats. Interesting.
And the lore is just, like I said earlier, it's so deep. Like, they have so much to work with here.
And did you see any glaring differences?
No, I think they played pretty well to the game. Just looking like how he said about the gameplay, it is heavy first person shooter, but there are some things where you're exploring and you're finding out, like you're hacking into these terminals and you're finding out about people 200 years ago about what they did, and it gets to be so expansive. Like,
let me ask you this: the games compared to show here. So in the show, I have Lucy, for instance. We're following Lucy, right? Lucy's doing this, Lucy's doing that, but then we get the other two main characters, because there's really kind of three main characters here. But in the game, you're just like one person.
Yeah.
Like you're following one storyline. I think that would probably be a big difference I would probably notice, is that as far the show has to encompass more character development for other people, because it's not just on one person.
Yeah. In the game, you would be Lucy. It always follows the Vault Dweller.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep.
So that's...
Like I said, it always has a Vault Dweller who has a reason they have to leave the vault, and that's where the story always picks up. Like, I think the first one was like a chip that purifies their water burnout, and so your job is go get a new one.
I think John said that was 3.
That was to Fallout 3.
Oh, was it 3? Okay.
That was 3.
Goes try to save his dad. Same thing.
Yeah.
Do the games ever give you flashbacks to pre-nuclear war?
In the beginnings, like I know in Fallout 4, you start off prior to the bombs dropping. Like you're just there and you're seeing everything in its pristine, like, fresh cut grass, people walking around. Hey, how's it going? And then all of a sudden you hear the sirens. You're like, oh shit. Like, yeah.
Okay.
What I find funny is though, like you're looking in the mirror, you set up your character. The character customization in Fallout 4 is insane.
I was asking John before we started recording.
If you take the time, you can make you to the T. Like, it's incredible.
Like, no shit. You
just might have to play this game.
But then when you set up your stats, there's a dude with a fedora who shows up, like basically trying to get you to sign up for the vaults. And finally, you're like, okay, fine, whatever. You sign up and you set your stats. That's how you get to that part of it.
Okay.
Well, later, not much later, but when you're running with your wife and child to the vault, you see that dude not being allowed in because his name's not on the list.
That's funny.
He's there with the list. I'm here. I'm with Vault. No, you're no.
And the guy's like, your name's not on it. Get out of the way. I'm just like, oh, jeez.
Is these games, the random ones you guys play, are they like a game that it would take like days for me to like not that I would sit there for hours and play at a time, but like, are they so long?
If you
like, as far as like, is there like 100 side missions and like,
oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the reason it would take you
compared to GTA for me,
it would take you forever because there's so much that you can do. Like, you will not be able to do the main quest. You will get sidetracked.
Okay. Every damn time.
And that's why I loved at one point, the ghoul made the comment to Lucy saying something. It was something along the lines of like, the one rule of the wasteland is you'll always get distracted or something like that. And I'm like, that is dead on.
There was an interview with him where he said that he said a certain line. I don't know if it was that one specifically, but I guess a different character says it, whatever he says in the games, and he didn't realize the significance of what he said, that it was like a big favorite. Probably should have done my research here and known what that was, but there's like so many Instagram videos, because I follow him now because he's amazing. Go watch Justified. He's great in that.
So it says here, if you focus on strictly and only the main story objectives, the game will take roughly 33 hours to play. And that's knowing where you're going straight there and doing it. If you, again, knowing where you're going straight there, if you do all side missions and 100% complete the game, you're looking at 211 hours.
Okay.
So for us,
so for me, 12 years.
You're looking, dude. So when I was on Steam,
I barely play, man.
When I was on Steam looking whether or not I wanted to buy Fallout 4, it shows you on the right side your friends who own it. And a buddy of mine has over 900 hours. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Now, are you also including like the secret spaces, like that's not even on the map? It's not even marked.
No,
we talk like Mario, where you go above the clouds type stuff.
Yeah, like there's secret places that aren't even marked on the map that you can go to, and you're like, oh shit! Like there's this place you can just like launch like gas cylinders at people. You just hit the freaking bottom of the gas cylinder and it flies off, hits people. Funniest shit
Torpedo.
ever.
See, I don't know if that's included or not, but did you play Skyrim ever?
Yes.
You know the beginning where you're like in the classic, you're in the
you're being carted away, and
a guy at work told me apparently there's a certain alcohol that if you find it in the game and drink it, I guess you'll pass out and you'll wake up in a cart like you're going to Skyrim. It's a little Easter egg.
Oh shit.
And then he showed me online a picture like someone found a tractor pulling a cart that had all these dead guys in it that were all bound at the wrist, and it's like that's got to be a Skyrim reference.
Yep.
Who made Skyrim?
Bethesda,
same company.
Same company?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Bethesda is pretty darn amazing, but they've recently sold to Microsoft. So I'm really hoping that doesn't screw things up.
Elder Scrolls.
Murders and acquisitions.
Really worried about.
All right, we are way off topic, but
no, we're talking about the video games. We're not off topic at all. But let's move on.
So, John, do you think that the TV show was like a good, faithful adaptation to the game?
I believe it was. I thought it kept pretty true to the game. I mean, there was a great storyline to it, great background, character development was great. Even though it was like with 3 different people, you still felt like there was an actual good storyline behind it. Still had a lot of the gore like you would see in the game. So I think it was actually pretty good, pretty straight to the game.
Like I said, I haven't really played, but I have not really read or seen anything pop up where people were mad about the TV show. Or I know with Halo, people were mad.
Yep.
And some other, Avatar, people are still 50-50 angry about that, even though I thought it was done well. But what about you, Josh? Do you think it's a faithful adaptation of what you've played?
Absolutely. I think it held very tight to the lore and the world building. Like everything that you would see in the game, in some way, you saw it in the show if you were paying attention.
If I understand it correctly, this takes place in 2077, which takes place after Fallout 4. So I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that the games are like they matter. Like that stuff that happened in the games did happen in this universe.
So
before.
None of the games ever play off of each other. They're all in the same universe, different timelines. Except one, I think.
Different timelines or just different times?
Well, not different timelines, sorry, different time periods.
Okay.
I believe there's one game where you actually play as the protagonist's son from the game prior, I think.
So they're not like, they're loosely connected, but not like very tightly.
Right.
It's not like
you could easily be playing a game that is like happening parallel to Fallout 3. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're in a vault in Pittsburgh in one, and then you're in a vault in Phoenix, Arizona in another one.
Right, exactly.
And they're both happening within 2 or 3 years of each other.
Right.
Okay.
But the show takes place 9 years after the end of Fallout 4. So not only is it part of the universe, but it's part of the continuity. Like it's canon. You know what I mean? Like they're not like, oh, it's a movie that like World of Warcraft. The things that happened in that movie had nothing to do with the game. It didn't affect the game except maybe like you could buy a DLC or something. I don't know, like a piece of armor. But in this, from what I've read, the show is going to directly set up Fallout 5. Now, I don't know if it's going to be 1 season, 2 seasons, 8 seasons. I mean, Fallout 5 will probably come out in 2080, but it's supposed to set it up so that, I mean, I think it'd be really cool if in Fallout 4 they did an update where you could actually find her vault.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, so I mean,
Vault 33?
Yeah. So I think it's an amazing adaptation because it plays directly into the lore and it totally feels like you're playing the game.
What I think is cool is like the same thing you're saying here is playing into the lore. You have all the previous stuff there, but because it takes place after, it's an open sandbox.
Oh yeah,
like you still have all the cool toys and tools from before. You have everything laid out, but you can still go in whatever direction you really want to go and still be faithful to what's going on.
You literally have every single thing that you've seen in a prior game is fair game. Great example, the Brotherhood of Steel, that giant airship that they had. Which game was it, John? Where
4,
where you can, I guess, bring it. There's an ending or something where you can bring it down and destroy it.
Yep.
And there's some fans that are a little weird saying like, okay, so which ending was technically canon then if it's still there? You see what I mean? Like,
yeah, nobody said the show sucks, but some people have said that they are confused about the Vegas one and the Fallout 4 one as far as when certain things happen as far as the timeline.
right.
But one of the creator guys said, well, some people might have been lying to other characters. They might have been taught differently. They think it happened in this year, but maybe it didn't. Maybe they've been lied to because they were in the vault. Maybe this character was given misinformation unknowingly. Like maybe somebody just didn't know the proper date. Maybe somebody just made it up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like it's a good way to weasel out of a very strict timeline. And as a Star Trek fan, I know sometimes timelines matter, but yet they don't. But some people get really, really mad, like with Star Trek when they coming out with new series and jumping through time and new movies. People get really, really angry about continuity, and the same with comic books. So I can understand why here people will go, no, 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 no. They specifically said on this panel in Game 3 that this was the date. Why is this happening now? But like they said, well, that could have just been false information.
Right. So like if you're reading a comic book and, I don't know, say like Gambit dies, and then 2 comic books later, but in a different series, he's alive, you're going to be like,
it was a Skrull.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, he's a Skrull. There you go.
Well, no, and also, if I can regain my train of thought here is,
sorry.
If somebody already lied to you to get you into a vault or lied to you to get into the Brotherhood or whatever, if they've already lied to you this whole entire time, why wouldn't they lie to you about other things?
And then another thing is like you look at too is like in the game, it's just like, okay, so let's say if the airship did go down, they're part of a larger faction. How many airships do you think they're going to be? Because if you're
could have been more than one.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe one of them went down because, I mean, you're talking like in the show, you're seeing like the one Proctor or whatever the hell is like the head honcho is nothing like who is in Fallout 4.
So like I said, an airship could have went down in Pittsburgh. That could have been the end of the game or wherever that one game took place. I didn't play it. But then like that's not where they're at here. There's another airship.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the wasteland is America from coast to coast, if I understand this correctly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's United States is pretty big.
Well, and the cool thing that I really like is the games have only ever taken place on the West Coast and a little bit on the East Coast. They have all of Central USA to work with.
Do they ever talk about Canada or Mexico?
The Great Canadian Wars or
Thrown
something like. What's it called, John? Do you remember?
I don't offhand.
Okay. That's like when Walton Coggins' character blanked when he makes mention of like he fought for this. To my understanding, it was in those Canadian wars.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Because that's how he knew about the armor.
Yep.
So in Fallout 4, the whole thing's taking place in Massachusetts. So wherever.
Yeah, I call that Massachusetts. What?
And I'm thinking wherever the show is taking place, that's more further east.
So the show was confirmed as taking place in California, right around the same area that Fallout 1 took place because of, what was it called? Shady Sands?
Shady Sands.
Yeah.
I guess that town is mentioned in the first Fallout.
Yep.
At least that's my understanding that I was told.
That's one of the timeline things people are talking about.
So it takes place between there and Fallout New Vegas, which obviously takes place in old Las Vegas.
Yes.
Lucy's dad ends up in Vegas or something at the end, or he heads to something to do with Vegas.
Bruh.
Major spoiler.
Way to go.
Yeah, you see you see the character looking down into like a wasteland and a city out in the distance. It fits the skyline of New Vegas. My big thing, though, is it's dark. There's no neon lights. Nothing is lit up. So I wonder if maybe something happened there because I did play New Vegas. So between the game and now, I don't know the timeline exactly how many years there was. Maybe something big happened. Maybe that we're going to be a new antagonist there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there's, from my understanding, there's a lot of factions we haven't seen yet.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a whole thing I was reading online about because I was trying to catch up here before we recorded. Like, who are these people? Like,
Did you wiki it?
A little bit here and there. I only read like a couple paragraphs at different spots.
I did for the state.
For the state.
It's just like, where's Lexington? Like Lexington, yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, it says Massachusetts, bro. So.
Lexington is definitely in Kentucky.
Listen, I Googled.
Well, I mean, they're all in that same area. Because on the one computer, you can look up
Lexington
locations, and there's Concord, there's Boston.
That's what I got when I Googled it.
Maybe it's not Lexington. Maybe it's Lexington.
Lexington is based on the real-world town of Lexington, Massachusetts, located less than 11 miles from northwest of Boston, where it's on the Fallout Wiki, but There is definitely Lexington that could,
Oh yeah,
for sure.
But then like I know Fallout 76, the redheaded stepchild of the franchise that most
Didn't know that. Didn't no idea.
it takes place in West Virginia. So the only reason that was hated was because, and I worked at GameStop when it dropped. It was super anticipated. Oh, it's going to be the first multiplayer Fallout. This is going to be amazing. And it was just a flop. Like, it was super buggy. Like, people just constantly griefed each other. Like, it was just awful. I am told it's significantly better now, but I mean, that first impression kind of,
kills it.
Did you play that one at all?
I played a little bit of it and I was like, nope, done. Because like he said, it was buggier than hell.
I might try it. I might, but
Let me know if it's fixed.
One day in the future.
well, because my buddy did tell me you can set yourself to not like peaceful mode, but like so people can't attack you. They can't attack your base, but they can come. Like, you can set up a shop and sell stuff that you've collected. Like, they can come and buy stuff off of you, but they can't attack you unless you have your set that you want that harder difficulty where people can attack me type of thing.
What is it a fair question to ask if you prefer the game or the TV show, or do you think they're on equal footing, or is that just an unfair question because they're two different mediums?
Do you want to take that first?
See, I think that's kind of a hard question because the game itself is so good, but then the show had such high standards to stick up to, and I feel like it met it. So I really liked the game, but I mean, I liked the show. Like, I went into it not like thinking I was going to like it. And I'm like,
because you hate a lot of stuff, man.
It's like, where's season 2? I can do this. This is great.
And what about you? How do you feel about that?
So I feel they're both amazing in their own right. Now, like I said, I've limited experience with the games. I played New Vegas, a tiny bit of 3 way back when, and I'm working on 4 right now. The show, on the other hand, I felt a lot like I was playing the game, but on like autopilot.
Is it like you're a Twitch guy and you're watching a Twitch player play?
No, not like that.
No? Okay.
Can you imagine if they did the whole thing in first person though?
That would be so weird.
Which I did
That'd
think
be
that's how
strange.
they were going to do Halo at first, because when you first see Master Chief, he drops in and then it goes to his view.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I like a few screenshots. They're nice.
but all in all, my current viewpoint is I would put the show above the game just because I don't know enough about the games.
That's where I stand.
But the fact that it's part of the actual canon lore of the games makes me really excited to play the games. And
I second that.
I think I've said it before, if a show can get me to play a game, or like One Piece, get me to want to watch the anime, if it can get me to salivate and want more, it did a good job.
It did its job for sure. So, John, did it do its job?
Absolutely.
So overall, John, season 1 in a nutshell, what is your flat out overall thought and rating out of 10 for season 1?
I say 9.5 out of 10.
Fire.
Yep.
Wow, that's
cooking.
you better have something to back that up.
You see,
Why?
with all the gore that was
Why
with
so
it,
high?
I'm thinking like I would have loved to see like more ragdoll physics. Like, someone gets shot by like a shotgun, like in the game, they go flying. I'm like, it'd be kind of funny because it adds a little bit more comedy to it.
Someone gets shot by a shotgun in the game, like all their limbs fly off.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I mean, we're already in that same area. So I'm just like, I mean, come on, you get hit with the fucking power armor like he did, like that dude did with his foot when he stomped on it.
I'm confused. Is this a gripe, or is this why you're giving it a 9.5?
It's why it didn't get that last 0.5.
Oh, that okay. So, all right.
I just think like some of the things like that to kind of keep more truer to the game. It'd be funny, like, in a clip, you see like a fern or something that's kind of like sticking through the wall as a kind of like a finger to Bethesda. Because like, how they're, because it'd be kind of funny to see that. So it's like, why is that plant sticking through the wall?
So some little glitch physics here and there.
It'd be kind of funny like that, just to add like a little bit of like an Easter egg like that. Because I mean, you see that like all the time in their games. It's just like, it's just funny.
Yeah, I know glitches. What about you, Josh? Overall rating and overall thoughts on
9 out of 10.
not 9.5.
Nope, 9 out of 10.
John likes it more. Okay.
I give it a 9 out of 10 because the classic HR answer, there's always room for improvement.
That's why you never get promoted.
Oh.
I mean, not you personally. I'm just saying a lot of people,
But no, I give it a 9 out of 10 because while I think it was absolutely fantastic. I love pretty much every aspect of it. I definitely felt like there was more to be told in that season. I mean, I understand they want to set up for the next season yet, but I still feel like there was more that could have been told from this part of the story. Because I don't feel like season 2 is going to focus on Lucy anymore. I mean, that's later on for theories, but her story's kind of over now. She found her dad. She found out what's going on. Her main story arc of why she's out of the vault is completed. Season 2, I feel like they might focus on another one of the characters as the main character.
And hell, it could even be the brother. I mean, he just found out.
Well, I mean, like I said, they gave everybody equal footing, I felt, in time. Most people got the same amount
But
of
only
time.
one person got a resolution to their character arc.
I don't know if it was a full resolution. I don't know if I completely agree with you on that.
We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
But so yeah, 9 out of 10. While it's phenomenal, I just feel like there's more that could have been told this season.
Right on.
So I feel this is a great time for you to tell us your rating, because I know you were probably one of the more strict when it comes to giving out ratings.
Yes.
Well, funny that you say that, because I gave it a 9 out of 10. I did. No, I mean, listen, I am critical. There's a lot of factors when I watch a show. There can be so many things going right, but if it's got clunky choreography or it's shot dimly lit the entire time, it's going to lower it for me. If I am for some reason taken out of the experience, but I wasn't here. My overall thoughts are on season 1. Fuck, that was fun. Sharp dialogue.
Do you have that written down?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Sharp dialogue,
Big, bold
brilliant coloring, great set pieces, fantastic performances, and a great mystery to make one hell of a freshman season. Simply, it's a blast with just enough drama and action in the proper proportions, coupled with the steady and even pacing. Most characters that show up, I wanted to know who they were, where they came from, why are they even on the show, what's their deal? You know, it made me care about these characters. And the situation with Stephanie and Chet, gold. The whole pregnant thing, that was amazing. Like, these are just two big characters that don't even matter at this point.
Yeah, I didn't know where that was going, but I liked it.
I loved it. Just little things like this has nothing really to do with the main characters, the main three. Kyle MacLachlan as Hank McClane did so much with little screen time. I thought he was going to be in there a lot more. He's in like episode 1 and episode 8.
So if I can jump in real quick, he was the picture perfect father and the overseer of Vault 33. Like, he just seemed like an all around that good, wholehearted all American guy.
He'd be a good Papa Kent.
And then you find out towards the end that he's not quite as clean and pure as you think he is.
He a twat.
And like, he can take it from like, you feel bad for him. Oh, I hope she finds him, to I don't like him in a matter of like 30 seconds. That is good acting. Not even just the story, just the way he was acting, like his facial expressions, everything. Just
the guy can chew scenery. I mean, there's a reason he has been around for so long in his career, and he didn't just go into obscurity. Why he's still getting major roles all over the place. He's a great actor. And of course, I said it earlier, Norm, that whole thing was awesome for me. So yeah, overall, 9 out of 10. It was a banger of a season. It made me want season 2. It makes me want to go play a video game. I was just talking before we even recorded this about me just getting rid of my PlayStation subscription because I never play, but I might have to rethink that and maybe play Fallout once every 2 weeks.
Well, and the thing I love about the game is it's one of those games where unless you're in a cutscene or in like a massive boss battle, you can save pretty much anywhere and just turn it off.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I don't like those.
Is it one of those games where you can't go past the cutscene?
I mean, I've saved in mid battle and just turned it off, come back. So.
It's one of those games where you don't want to jump past the cutscene.
Yeah.
Like the cutscenes, from my experience again, have so much information, like almost all of them, that you don't want to skip it.
Is there a reading in this? Or do the other characters talk when you actually go to them? Because some games you go up to them and it's just like word blurb. Oh my God.
If you're getting more into the lore and you're exploring and you're reading like some of the data pads that people like left before the bombs went down, they have stories behind those.
Yeah, like you can break into, like hack into computers and just read log after log after log. Like
Skyrim and stuff, it's just like, oh, here's this lady who's going to tell you to go talk to that colonel, to kill this person and to come back. Like it's the same thing over and over again. So I just did hit the X button as fast as I can to get through it. So like this is more immersive.
Okay, what's the objective? Come on.
Yeah, come on. Like, no, okay, who do I got to kill? Okay, fine.
So much Fallout 4 is where I personally think you should start. Just because it's so well done. It's so clean. So
that's the one you recommend for John. Which one do you recommend?
That's the one I'm playing right now that I just started.
4, definitely.
4?
Yep. I mean, because there's so many things. Like, you play the game through like one time, and then you'd like, okay, well, maybe I want to play it with like Brotherhood of Steel, and you're like, oh shit, that's decent. Okay, let me play as a raider. I mean, you could do that.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
and the one guy I work with, I was saying, who's like really into it. He was explaining to me, because again, you have your classes, or not your classes, your abilities, like how much strength, how much agility, how much, you spec them based on what kind of character you want to play. So right now I'm spec'd out to be a very agile, like stealthy and highly perceptive character, because I want to try and get more into like the long range, like sniping style of play, and we'll see how it goes. He said, whereas he put most of his stuff into strength, and he's just like, think of like a tank. He just walks in and starts pounding people.
What about you, John? Do you just walk in and pound people?
You surprise him from behind.
Yep. Yep. Nothing says. Yep.
Get over it.
Exactly. Yep.
Gonna pound you.
Yep.
Gonna pound.
See, I'm the same way, but I usually walk up like with like a super powered like shotgun and just like sneak up and, all right, critical, side of the head, damn.
But then I thought it was cool too. Like, if you put more into your intelligence, you gain more experience from the different things you do.
Yep.
Oh.
But if you put more into your charisma, you actually get better prices on things at the shops because you talk your way into it. Like,
Oh, you guys have talked me into this now. You just
Like,
rolled a
it's
19 on charisma.
very
persuasion.
in depth. Like, it's the way to go.
You max out on luck, you get better stuff.
So on that note, just a little side thing. I put down what I felt each character was spec'd into. Lucy, I feel like she was heavily charisma based. She was speech based. Overseer Hank, well, he was our secret villain. The Ghoul was perception based. I mean, think about it. Like, he's the one that doesn't miss a shot. He doesn't miss a thing. He sees everything.
Makes sense.
Maximus, I put as pure luck based. If you rewatch it, everything that man did was luck. He lucked into every single part of that show. And then I have Norm as being intelligence based, because obviously he put everything into his intelligence, not his strength, because he's a little man. But
Certainly not charisma.
What gripes do you have about the show, John? Obviously it didn't get like your full ratings, but is there stuff that you're just like, that wasn't for me?
The only thing I can really think of is like how they had the Brotherhood of Steel. Because if you're playing the game, it's a completely different aspect.
You read my notes?
Sure, why not? But anyway, I'm looking at like, because in the game in Fallout 4, they're so much more organized. It's like everyone had some type of storyline behind them. But in this show, it's like they're like a ragtag group that they're picking people who are just like, okay, well, you need a home, so we're gonna be assholes to you, and like you're gonna be just basically just fodder. Whereas in the game, like Squires, they were thought of like just as highly. I mean, you have Knight, you had Paladin, you had Squires. Squires had some pretty shaky jobs, but in the show, it's like a Squire was just like, you're a slave. Just follow me.
What's up with that backpack? Why is it? I understand it's that you got to take care of the armor, but like this backpack is like massive. Like it's not my term to go for the gripes. So what gripes do you have anything else before I cut you off?
I kind of thought they were going for a Monty Python type thing for that, because if you look at the Night,
You the coconuts.
yeah, because you see the guy carrying that big ass pack on him. I'm like, that's exactly what I pictured, Monty Python.
What about you, Josh? What gripes did you have?
I actually have a small list.
Small list of 25.
I just had that.
So I will start with where he just left off, the Brotherhood of Steel. I didn't like that they were portrayed as like this cocky, power abusing group of soldiers who just kind of do what they wanted. I mean, they were in the show, because in the games they're supposed to be. I think it's described as like good people doing good things, but in a bad way, if that makes sense. Because they're trying to save humanity. I mean, they don't really make that very clear.
Are they bringing back the USA like they did?
No.
No. Okay.
So
I know the Vault people are all about the USA.
Yeah. No. So in the games, the Brotherhood of Steel is the reason they're going around identifying and collecting all these artifacts, or what do they call them? Was it artifacts?
I think it is artifacts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
artifacts. Yeah.
Is because they don't want anybody to get technology, because they're grouped together as this Brotherhood of Steel to prevent technology from advancing to end up at another war.
Okay.
So they think in their twisted whatever way. Well, if we just don't let people get it, we won't have to worry about it happening again. Like the whole cold fusion, thing.
Right.
That's like the pinnacle of technology, and that's why they were so adamant. Oh, hey, we need to get this. But then in the game, or I mean, the show, they make it out like, oh well, if they have it, they'll be all powerful, and they'll be horrible. But in the game, they're not like that. Not quite like that. You know what I mean?
I'm going to take your word for it.
You picking up on putting down, John? Can you verify this?
Yeah, I see where you're going with it. Yeah.
Another thing, and it was just a personal gripe, but I thought the CGI overall was fantastic, except for the de-aging on Henry. And I say Henry, not the other name, because I don't want to throw too many spoilers out there. When in one of the flashbacks, when Cooper meets Henry, the de-age, if you look at the face, like it just felt weird.
Am I the only guy in the world that doesn't care about this de-aging thing? It doesn't bug me at all.
No, the de-aging doesn't bother me. It's just, it didn't feel like it fit the body. Like it just, it almost felt like it was floating there. Something about it just irked me. I didn't like it. And then my other big gripe is they don't explain how ghouls are really made. So from watching the show, how do you believe that their ghouls are?
You wait till I get to my notes, buddy.
Okay. In the show, it makes it seem like whatever that vial was that like heals instantly, that, oh, well, yeah, that's kind of what turns you into a ghoul, because now you heal, you don't die, stuff like that. But in the games, that's not at all it. It's the over.
Well, don't tell me what it is, because I don't want to know what it is.
I think they already said in the show, like, how.
No, they didn't really explain it in the show.
Mm.
Yeah.
No. So don't, please, for me personally, don't spoil what it is.
But all I'll say is that like the vials that they keep taking that are like sought after.
Chems.
They're called chems, but they're Radaway, which in the games you have to consume yourself.
They do say what that is in the show.
Pushes the radiation out of your body, because too much radiation will cause the ghouls to go feral, like we saw the one. But that's not what turns them into the ghouls. Like it irked me, because that was a huge change that I didn't, or not even change, just a part of the story that I felt like could have been
more explained on, built on.
Yes, because it left me with limited knowledge, but enough to know that, wait a minute, that's not how they're made. Someone who never played the games or doesn't know anything about it, they're going to probably think that those vials are what changes people.
Yeah, because if you don't play the game, because in the games it tells you how exactly how it happens. But I can see where you're saying, because in the show it's just like, okay, I can see where people will get confused with that.
Yeah. So, Michael, you seem like you're chomping at the bit. I'm ready.
I don't know if I'm chomping at the bit.
You are foaming at the mouth.
It's just you guys have said things, and I feel like you read my notes is all. I'm like, what's going on here? Maybe it's because there's not a lot to gripe about this show. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
My gripes so far are the lack of backstory or explanation on the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, you guys played the games. You know more about them. Somebody that doesn't play the show. So every one of my gripes, I'll put right here at the beginning, is based off a guy who's never played the video games.
Do you feel the show was aimed more, not like hardcore, but more towards gamers?
I think it leaned 60-40 that direction.
Like assuming, they probably know something about this.
I think so. Okay. I think they banked on the anticipation of this live action adaptation. So yeah, Brotherhood of Steel, they don't really explain to me, non-game players, where they came from or how they got there. And I know there's a lot of other factions that are supposed to pop up, but like they explained about the Vault a lot this season, but they didn't really explain about the other things. And the Brotherhood, I felt like of all the major story arcs and major plot points, I think that the Brotherhood got the raw end of the deal here. I feel like they were just not pressed upon as much as every other aspect. Now, yes, you got Maximus running around. And by the way, I did like Michael Rappaport playing Titus. Is that what it was? Is like he was just he's such a dick.
Yeah,
he's such a good dick. I like he's a great actor. I love everything. Like he was great in Atypical as the dad, but like he's just such a good rat piece of garbage.
First thing he says, takes off his cod piece. Clean this,
right? Another gripe. You talk about the ghoul thing. Like my frustration is like, how do they exist? They don't really explain it. Now I'm not a dum-dum, so I understand it when they talk about Radaway in one of the episodes, and I do see that the chemicals are doing certain things, but I did see, in the first episode that he is underground and there are tubes running down in there. So he's not just sitting there hitting in his inhaler to become a ghoul. I know there's got to be more to it, but they don't really explain that.
The IV bag.
Yeah, like, and I know that there's, these are just small grace because I know this is just the first season and you don't have so much time to explain so many things. But I felt like that might have been an important thing because you see more than one ghoul. You know, you see another one that he has to take out. So like, how did you get there? And my last gripe would be an explanation of who Wilzik was and why he had the artifact. Why he wanted to get it to Moldiver. I mean, Moldiver says at the end why she wanted it. But then you even said like the Brotherhood of Steel, like they want this artifact, but they don't really explain fully why they want it or need to stop it. There's a lot of we need this thing, but they don't explain what it is. And so Wilzig has a whole thing with his dog. You know, Michael Emerson's character, and he's been in so many good things like Lost and Evil, and like he plays that good little. He wasn't such an evil schlubby guy in this one, but you don't really get an explanation. Like the Brotherhood's looking for him, other people are looking for him. He's such an important guy, but they don't really explain why, other than the fact he has this artifact. They don't explain what it is until the very end. Like it was just very vague. There's too much vagueness on those aspects. What do you think, John?
And one of the things that just kind of came back to me is at the beginning of the show, they talk about the Enclave, but you don't hear anything about the Enclave or what they do as to that's where he came from.
Yeah, I didn't know until like doing my reading. Oh, I do remember that name. That is what they were called, but I didn't remember it by the time he like really comes around that that's what they were called.
Exactly.
And why are they training dogs? They give me no explanation why they're training dogs. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure it'll be explained. You guys can tell me after the episode, but what's up with the dogs? The dog character was cool. I do love the connection between him and Cooper. That was pretty cool. So yeah, those are my gripes. Do you have any theories for season 2?
Actually have a couple. So I'm thinking like how we were talking about New Vegas, like wherever McLean went. I'm thinking maybe what Josh had said was it's going to end up being where super mutants took over. It might be something like that. We might actually see like more like maybe it was taken over by Death Claws, and they might run into something like that because they're a pain in the ass as it is. Another thing, like there might be a Children of the Atom arc because I mean they never touched on that. Yeah, they wish they were X-Men, but I mean it's something like that. So I mean there's so many things that they can touch on. Hell, like you haven't ever run into any of the Chinese soldiers. You do that in the game, like eventually. So.
What about you, Josh? Any theories you got for season 2?
Yep.
And what are they?
See, this part he didn't fill out, and it's going to be all improv.
Oh, no, I did.
No, this dude loves the fan theories.
I do.
Okay.
So, first off, I said earlier, something major happened in New Vegas. That's why all the lights are out. I mean, like you said, it could be like it's overrun. Who knows? I think we're going to see a whole story arc of what happened there. Maybe in flashback, maybe not. So one of my biggest theories actually involves Thaddeus. The vial that the essentially snake oil salesman gave him.
That he just has like in his cupboard, chilling in this abandoned wasteland.
I call him a snake oil salesman because he was just one of those sleazy, like, I'll sell you anything type of people.
I like how they peppered him in the episodes. Yeah. He was in there a couple times. Yeah.
But I don't think that was Radaway. Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't Radaway that he gave him that healed him. That's not how that works.
No.
I had the theory that it was FEV, or the Forced Evolutionary Virus, that Thaddeus is going to be the first super mutant that we get to see in the show. We're going to see him slowly turn into this creature.
This guy that plays him, I don't know if anybody here watches Superstore.
Yeah.
Dude, like, and I've seen him. He's played these type of characters before. The guy is hilarious.
Like the snivelly little...
Well, he's played, like, in Superstore, he was like an Eminem wannabe. Thought he was a rapper. And it's just, to see him in this show...
Yeah.
Like, these guys, like, they could have been ancestors of each other. Like, these characters. Yeah, great actor. I don't know his name. I have it written down, but I'm not going to open my phone and look at it.
Another theory, Cooper's wife. I assumed they got wiped out or they died with time. But with what you find out in the last episode...
Makes you scratch your head, doesn't it?
It makes you wonder, are they still around?
See, I thought that too, but like in the beginning, I'm like, whenever the bombs first went off, I mean, she was the first one to see that one go off.
Yes, she was.
But they never show you what happens to her. Purposely.
Well, that, but also Cooper specifically says to Hank,
where the fuck is my family?
right, not just where's my wife. No, it's where's my family. He doesn't know where his daughter is. So I think we're going to see a little more of that evolve. And last I have that I think we're going to find out that Vault-Tec didn't drop the bombs that started this whole thing. I know it's talked about. If you played the games at all, you know that Vault-Tec is essentially like the villain, the overall arcing villain that can't be defeated because it's, a corporation that's, not, I wouldn't say dead, but it's just got its hands everywhere.
Did they buy the Umbrella Corporation as well?
Man, sure, why not?
Might as well. Natalie thought, like, I was playing Resident Evil last night with the ghouls that I was fighting. She's like, it's the same game. And it's like, no, it's not.
All Natalie knows is you walk around in a game. That's all she knows. A lot of walking.
I don't think Vault-Tec dropped the bombs initially. I think China beat them to it. Because in the games, you come across many unfinished vaults. If Vault-Tec was trying to sell vaults and they decided to drop bombs in order to promote them, why would they do it before they had them all ready and sold? Also, in the show, there is absolutely no way Cooper's wife, Barb, would have let Janie be anywhere outside of her perimeter knowing the date that this was going to happen. There's
These
no
all
way.
Valid points.
Now, I mean, they do talk about at the birthday party in the first episode that they got divorced, Barb and Cooper. If you listen, you hear people talking about it.
Well, they talk about how he has fallen so far that he's doing birthday parties.
There's a mention in there about them not being together. So, okay, maybe it's his day with the daughter. Cool. But she would have made because the whole reason she's doing this is to secure her family a place in a
she
vault.
gives a speech about it.
Yeah.
About securing her family. There's
This
no
is why
way.
I'm doing this.
Absolutely no way she would have let this happen or not let it happen. It was going to happen. But there's no way she would have let her daughter not have been with her in a secure place the day she knew it was going to happen.
Agree.
And supposedly in one of the games, I guess you can find a submarine.
Yep. 4.
Okay, 4. That there's a submarine captain, Ghoul, who's been stuck down there from China, who says that he fired the first nuke. In the show, I think they really want you to think it was Vault-Tec, but I
Little misdirection.
am leaning very heavily towards it was China. Now, I mean, maybe it was an accident that they sent off the nuke, and so Vault-Tec's like, oh, we're doing it now. Beep. But I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
What else you got?
That's my biggest fan theories. I mean, I'm more than sure I will come up with more.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
Those are the ones that I'm sticking with for now. What do you got?
Well, I had to do a little reading because I was like, how do I do a fan theory about something? I have no idea what's even going on about some things. But the super mutants, I was like, oh, well, I heard about these things and the whole Thaddeus thing. There's other people that agree with what you're saying about the forced evolution. So that's not just your theory. That's a big one that's online.
Well, and that falls back on, like I was saying, that's not how you become a ghoul.
Yeah.
But
well, I looked up other fan theories and I'm like, do I subscribe to this one or this one, or do these make sense? I didn't want to just like copy and paste them.
right.
There's a thing that I'm curious about, the Caesar's Legion that's in the game. So people have pointed out that the Brotherhood are using Spartan names instead of the Greek names that they normally do in the games. So Maximus, Thaddeus, Titus.
Yeah.
Like they apparently use a lot of different type of names. So there's like this theory that they have already battled with the Caesar's Legion and already defeated them and taken them over, which also might go into your whole Vegas thing. So I'm thinking we're going to get something to do with that, because there's another theory for me. There are a lot of other factions we've not seen yet. I'm assuming in season 2, we're going to see a lot of other factions. Synths. Apparently there are synths. We have not seen them at all in the show. There's some theories that there's some main characters that have been roaming around that we've seen in season 1 that are synths and nobody knows. So I'm thinking
That's interesting.
that there might be a couple people. There's some weird acting, because I didn't know these things existed in the game. But then after I read it, like an hour and a half before you guys came over, I was thinking to myself, who could be like, who's just strange in the
Lucy.
show?
Definitely Lucy.
That'd be jacked up if she was fake. I don't know. I think we're going to find out somebody like that. Maybe that's Stephanie, maybe that Barb lady. But then again, I was also confused because I thought Barb was Cooper's wife. I thought that's who that was, because I couldn't remember his wife's name. Is his wife's name Barb?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, did she get unfrozen from Vault 32 or Vault 31? And then And then I thought that's who that was. She was just aged more for some reason. I don't know. I'm probably completely wrong on that.
Oh, no.
Is there 2 Barbs?
What's her name? Betty?
Is it Betty? Betty? Barb? Do I just have the names completely wrong?
Wade Wilson said, "Go ahead and go out into the future. You can see now. You're good."
So yeah, those are my theories. There's gonna be some synths. Whoever the Betty Barb person is, that I probably got the name wrong. I think she's probably one of them. Yeah, and see, now Lucy, you said her story was over, but now she's going to have to rescue her brother. She has somebody else to rescue now when she gets back. I hope Chet's not a synth, But yeah, these synths are bad, though, right? In the game? Are they bad? No. I like Chet, though. I hope we see more of Chet in Season 2. I don't want to just, these guys are in Vault 32. We're going to forget about them now. I want to still see these guys.
Yeah.
One-eyed Stephanie needs to...
I mean, she's part of Voltec, so yeah, she's going to be back. So,
those are my theories.
She's going to be overseer in Link 32. She is.
Well, she was given that initial job. What do you got?
All right, so Cooper Howard's wife was Barb Howard. Betty Pearson was the woman in the vault.
As I was saying, it's like I probably got this wrong, and I did.
While we're on that honorable mention, Zach Cherry. I mean, come on, playing was it Woody Thomas?
They got to have more of this guy.
I mean, I've seen him in little things here and there, but seeing him in Severance is the first time I really got to see him as an
this show you keep pressing on me. Yeah.
I'm telling you. I love him as an actor. He's so good because he's got that very dry, sarcastic humor, but it hits so well.
I tried so hard. How many posters did you put up? 10?
I just remember
that's their campaigns, just putting up 10 posters.
So what do you think, John? Season 2. Do you think it's going to continue, the way it's been going as its own story, or do you think it's going to deviate away from the game more into its own kind of world?
I think it's going to stay pretty close to the game. There's so much that we don't know yet that they have to touch on before they can really start to deviate.
What's something you really hope that you get to see in Season 2?
I'd like to see a synth kick the shit out of a super mutant.
Is that a thing that happens?
I mean, in Fallout 4, you could see him fighting.
I would like to see them encounter a vault that has already been in a game.
Yes, I would love to see that.
There's a vault in, I don't know which game it is, it's one of the older ones, where was the guy's name, I think Gary?
That was 3.
He just
Fallout 3.
Keeps cloning himself, and eventually everyone else gets killed. It's just Gary's, and every clone gets dumber. So all they do is yell Gary as they attack.
Gary!
Can you imagine?
Matt Damon!
Can you imagine?
That's basically
get Matt Damon to play Gary.
Could you imagine our main characters walking in just seeing hundreds of Gary?
Well, listen, when she goes into the one vault and starts noticing the small changes that everybody physically has.
The fucking mutations?
Wait, what?
The dude with the one eye?
Well, dude, seeing Parnell, Chris Parnell, not to be confused with Ella Purnell, to see him with one eye it was so hard to focus on this dude.
Yes.
Dude, he played that so well, though. Oh, my word.
He is another actor, an SNL guy that's been in Hot Rod with Sandberg, just so many different things. Just a great.
He's always a supporting actor, but he's so good.
See, I thought they drugged their food, and that's what she was hallucinating. And I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna kill. Like, no, the dude literally only has one eye.
There's another vault in the games where there was 999 women and only one guy.
Oh, I got.
But then there was another one that was 999 guys and only one woman.
That's called the Freddy Krueger game because it's Son of a Thousand Maniacs.
So they hint on it in that board meeting.
I was about to say, fuck it, we'll just experiment with everything.
Every vault is an experiment of some sort. That's the whole idea of the game. You quickly find out. Every vault is a different experiment. There was one where they purposely didn't let the door seal just to test, what does radiation do to the body?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what game it's in, but I guess it's
microwave.
It's basically just full of ghouls.
Yeah.
Or dead people. I would love to see them encounter one of these vaults that you've blatantly seen in a game.
There's one that's really messed up where every year they have to sacrifice somebody. The computer says if you don't do it, everybody dies. And that when there's only 5 people left, they're like, screw this, we're gonna die anyway. The system's like, oh, you passed the test. You weren't supposed to kill anybody. They're like, you fuckers.
Well, I guess we have a lot of other vaults that we're hoping to see in the future.
And that's the thing. they said there's like 122 or something like that, but they can easily keep adding like, oh, we didn't know about this one.
Exactly.
Yeah, they can change a lot of things for sure. I mean, with a shady corporation like that, you never know what's going on because people might not be telling the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because Lucy's like, no, that's not when this happened.
No, man, if you read the logs, like in Fallout 4, in the very beginning, if you take the time to find computers and read the logs, like you can find one that was a worker's logs, like his diary, and you can find the overseer. And you get to see both sides of like who knows what. And you know very quickly, it's a
Nothing's
game
on the up
where
and up.
everybody has a secret.
Yep.
Personally, I very, very much so look forward to season 2. I thought it was a fantastic season 1. I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, even Emily was like, who has no idea about the games either. And, you know, it's hard really sometimes to get her on a show. She's jonesing for season 2 as well.
Well, I don't feel like you really needed to know much about it to get into it. That's the best part.
My buddy from Arizona, Ryan, he was texting me all week. You know, I've been watching Fallout. He messaged me earlier this morning, said he just wrapped up the final episode this morning, and he was like, man, this thing, 10 out, like he thinks it's a 10 out of 10. He's like, this was amazing. This was awesome. I mean, across the board, it's getting great reviews, great ratings. We all like it, and we're the ones that matter. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, only me. I mean,
So,
sort of you too, but
Ella, if you want to come on the show and comment, I more than welcome you.
yeah.
I
Even
mean,
Chris Parnell, bring both eyes though, please.
no, don't. That's fine. Walton Goggins. I mean, if you want to show up,
Oh man, Walton Goggins,
Dude, we'll
what
throw
man.
you a barbecue.
I will have you signing like every object I own.
Somebody asked him in an interview, like, who would he want of his previous played characters to go hang out with the ghoul? Like, who would be a good companion for him? I'm not going to ruin some of the answers he said, but he threw out a lot of characters I've liked him to play over the years. I was like, you need to have that dude from Predator, man. The prison inmate, man, he'd be shanking people left and right. He'd be a good ghoul, you know?
Yeah.
And if you want to know more about their character, go back and listen to our episode on Predators, where we talk about predators.
What was that? Prey not to be hunted.
Yes, pray not to be hunted.
Anything else coming from you, John?
Nope.
So I do have one little extra that I just thought was a really cool Easter egg that I noticed. Without giving too much away, in the end, when he punches in the code, you know what I'm talking about, right? It was 101097, 101097, or October 10th, 1997,
Is that when the
which
first game came out?
is the date that
Yep.
Fallout 1 released in North America on MS-DOS and Windows.
MS-DOS. For
I
all you
just thought that
TikTokers
was-
out there, go Wikipedia what MS-DOS was.
I just thought that was a really cool Easter egg. Now, I didn't know what it was right away. I did Google it, but I knew it had to be something. Just the way they were playing this
That's the care that they
had
took.
to mean something.
I honestly thought it was going to be the code from Fallout 3 when they, like, for the ending with that, because they had to punch in that code. I seriously thought that's what they were going to use.
You act like we know what you're talking about.
Is that up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start?
ABAC, ABB.
I'm sorry, what?
ABAC, ABB.
I know his backpack forward, he spits acid at you.
Get over here.
So do you think they're ever going to do like a Mortal Kombat that's going to be serious like this?
No.
Hell's to the no.
And this, I've already passed all this, but did you see the Transformers 1 trailer that it's a cartoon CGI thing? That's what
No.
it is. It's the story of how Optimus Prime and Megatron were best friends before they were Optimus Prime and Megatron. They had different names. Yeah.
Nope, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm not fucking watching that.
That's going to be a polite pass.
We were real good friends back then. That's why we hate each other now. And apparently Optimus is like a fuck up and like nobody takes him seriously and he screws up like all the time.
Interesting.
Well, he didn't become Optimus yet. He didn't earn that name yet. And he's like a screw up kid.
No,
teenager.
I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, I
No.
can't. Well, I mean, he's voiced by Thor.
Still pass.
No, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just,
That sounds like a hard
everything I'm telling you is shit. like this is a story you guys came up with. This is your prequel, whatever.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap on this episode. Hopefully you found it entertaining and now you have this unbelievable desire to go watch the Fallout series or play the games. And if you did find this enjoyable, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Tree of Geek wherever you listen to your podcast. Your support means everything to us and it really encourages us to keep bringing you new and fun content. So let us know how you feel. If you're on YouTube, please comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on this episode. Are we right? Are we wrong? Did you love the games? Did you hate the games? Let us know whatever's on your mind right now. I really want to hear from you. And don't forget that you can stay connected to us off the air too. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also known as X, for updates, input requests, and voice your opinion on upcoming episodes. Do you want to cover a specific topic? Let us know in the comments.
Suggestions are welcomed.
Absolutely. And if you love what you hear and you are just feeling that extra generosity, you can throw us a couple bottle caps. Jump over to patreon.com/treeofgeek. For only $5 a month, you can subscribe to our Patreon and get early access to upcoming content, polls, and you will receive a shout out every episode, as well as so much more that's coming. So, a huge shout out to our boy John, sitting right across the table from me. Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon.
This guy?
Yeah,
This guy right here.
That guy.
That guy.
And to Unconfined You, who subscribe to our $5 a month Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting us and actually believing in us.
Gracias.
All right. Well,
Co-pilot.
again, we are incredibly grateful for your support. Just
So much.
listening to this episode means the world to us. So until next time, this is Josh from the Tree of Geek saying take care, everybody.
This is the H train taking you out of the station. A jug. Jug.
Later, peeps.
Congratulations, Roddy Piper. You're dead. Poor guy.
Take 3.